Hi there, everybody. It is hot in my office, so I'm fanning, but here is Mezzo from Kyber Cave Productions. I hope you're doing well this evening. As you can see, I am solo once again. Mr. Van O'Brien was away at convention this weekend. Now, as some of you may have noticed, last week we didn't actually have an episode. We replayed a special with Chris F. Bartlett. But at the beginning, I mentioned an emergency situation, and that is why we had to replay an old episode. Van was in the hospital. He's doing okay right now. He was even working a convention this weekend. I haven't seen him personally, but I'm hoping he's feeling better, and he should be back for the show next weekend. So just send him all the love. If you're friends with him on Facebook and even to the Kyber Cave Productions page, you can send out love to him and stuff. We're going to start out with our nerdy news this morning. So who's ready for the nerdy news? Because I am definitely ready for some nerdy news, for some fun nerdy news. All right, first thing on the nerdy news is Ahsoka Season 2, 4 directors revealed. Dave Filoni, Bryce Dallas Howard confirmed to return. Get ready, Star Wars fans. Ahsoka Season 2 is stacking its director roster. Confirmed at the helm are franchise stalwarts Dave Filoni and Bryce Dallas Howard, along with returning director Jennifer Getzinger and newcomer Anders Engstrom, bringing both legacy and fresh vision to the next chapter of the Jedi saga. I really enjoyed Ahsoka Season 1. I hope you did as well. I'm going to forever miss... Wow, his brain is escaping me now. Oh my gosh. Forgive me. He's an actor who passed away. Ray Stevenson. He passed away after Season 1 had finished wrapped and stuff. And the gentleman from Game of Thrones who played the dog is going to be replacing him. Yeah, and I'm really excited to see him in that role as well because he's got a pretty good stage presence. But I'm excited for Season 2. There are some pretty cool sneak peeks you can see. But if you want to check out that link in the description, is that article, and I will post it into the chat right now. I want to make sure I say hi, Duran. I hope you're doing well. We always talk about meeting you as one of our favorite moments on this show so far. Meeting you in person. All right, next on the nerdy news docket is Vader Immortal. ILM explores how they created VR experience Vader Immortal as studio celebrates 10 years. If you don't know what ILM Lab is, it is a huge VFX corporation that have done so many things that you probably don't even realize they have done in all the movies that you've seen. It's celebrating a decade of pushing immersive storytelling and mark the occasion. They're pulling back the curtain on how they brought the iconic Vader Immortal VR experience to life. From early concept to final reality, discovered the creative and technical breakthroughs that redefined what a Star Wars VR adventure can be. These Star Wars articles were from StarWarsNewsNet.com, and Pete Fletcher was the author of this most recent article. If you guys want to check out that information about ILM and its creation of Vader Immortal, it is in the description, but I am popping it into the chat there as well. It was a very interesting article. They have a whole video part from YouTube with Vader Immortal information on there. So I think it'd be good for you guys to check that out. You find it very interesting. It looked really cool. Very, it's the VR experience. And I wish I could do VR. I personally can't because I get motion sick, unfortunately. But it looked really, really cool. So if you're interested, go check that out. All right, guys, we have flow of the show every week. And our flow of the show is brought to us by James Kaiser, our producer, who brings us a very, flow of the show. We're one of the few shows, Van likes to point out, that features a flow. And it's always something visually mesmerizing, whether it be glow sticking, gloving, saber spinning, fire dancing. We've seen ones with like these beautiful circular rings that they kind of do like the rhythmic gymnastics kind of stuff with. And tonight's a little bit different. Flow Mayhem is our flow for this evening, and I will throw her channel into the description. But she's got a pretty cool instrument that I've actually personally never seen before. So please enjoy your flow for this evening, Flow Mayhem. So that is your Flow the Show, Flow Mayhem. And she's usually a fire dancer. And I think the device that she's using, the tool that she's using, I've seen on fire before. But just is not on fire in this video. It kind of looks like a little bit tutorial wise too. So that was really cool to see. So thank you, James Kaiser, for bringing us Flow Mayhem to feature on the show. If you'd like to check out Flow Mayhem's page, I will pop it into the chat right now, but it's also should be in the link in the description. And if it is not, I will take a look and edit it and add it later. So thank you so much, guys, and thank you, James Kaiser, for providing that for us. Now, tonight our guest is a Emmy award-winning animator, creative director. He's pretty awesome. We've had him on the show before, so please welcome Dave Warren. All right, there, Mr. Warren. How are you this evening?
Great. Loving that Flow Mayhem there. It's so funny because I was watching it. I went, oh man, this would be so like rad on fire. Then you like went, oh well, this is usually on fire. And I went, of course it is. And why isn't that human like doing that at a Comic-Con near you? Because that's like, oh my God, that's the kind of entertainment like cons go crazy for that they don't have.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's my
100%. Put them on the stage and have people come and watch them because it's really, really cool to see.
Well,
all right.
It's a little
Travis Spalding says hello.
Hello. Travis, how you doing, my friend?
I want to say it looks like it's not a name I'm familiar with, so I was like, it's got to be someone that knows Mr. Warren.
Travis is an amazing human being, and he actually told me that he had bookmarked this a day or so ago.
Oh, that's awesome. Right on. Travis, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah. I appreciate you so much, brother. Thank you.
All right, so I want to get started with, I know you've been on our show before. I want people to have a recap on how you first got into animation, and was it something that you always wanted to do?
Oh my goodness, I've told this story so many times. I escaped a Venezuelan jail in 1997 and was smuggled across the border by coyotes. And when I got here, I had no skill whatsoever. So the only thing I could do was I had some crayons and I started drawing people on the street for change and develop my skills that way. No, that's not how it happened at all.
Like that sounds like a Simpsons episode.
I went on and I'll just handle it right now. I started in animation through HBO. I went somewhat of a non-traditional route. I studied animation through the Union at night in North Hollywood. They used to teach animation classes back then. And started out at HBO at this great little boutique studio with John Kafka and Catherine Winder and the amazing Eric Radomski and, oh my God, Tim Brock, Joe Vo, so many people. And it was my first experience being a professional cartoonist, I guess, animator. And it was amazing. It was like I can remember saying I felt like I was walking 6 inches off the ground every time when I would leave the building there. But it was short-lived. I got laid off, I think, I don't know, 3.5 months after I got started, which was an introduction into how it worked in animation and still does for a lot of things. Is you're only there as long as the show lasts. So we were doing a show called Spicy City, Ralph Bakshi show, who was one of my like teen idols. Lord of the Rings, Fritz the Cat, Heavy Traffic. He was kind of the hardcore guy that resonated with 16-year-old Dave, right? And anyway, got the opportunity to work for him on my very first gig, and it was freaking cool. But things didn't work with him and HBO, and they ended the show after a short season. And so I was fortunate that some of the people there at HBO opened some doors for me at Warner Brothers, and they asked me if I'd be interested on working on Pinky and the Brain, and of course I
That's so
said
cool.
yeah.
I still
I
sing
think
Pinky and the Brain theme song in my head sometimes too. I do that with all the
no, it's
old animated shows that I grew up with. Like
yeah.
Pinky and the Brain, the Nickelodeon show Doug. Like I'll just randomly start singing like the theme songs in my head.
It's funny is that sometimes like a loop of something will get stuck in my head. Um, you know, going down to South Park, like I've had that in my head for, I don't know, maybe it's because of like it's in the public zeitgeist right now, but I walk around and I hear the South Park like theme song and Primus in my head. So um, I think that's just how it is when we're people that are influenced by such things.
Yeah. Now we had a question that I mentioned to you this morning that was actually earlier that was posted early this morning from Zedfinite. Hey guys, could you ask Dave about So Sophie and whether there are plans to reboot the cartoon?
Oh my God, who is that? Who
I don't
are
know.
you?
Zedfinite, who are you? Please message us at kybercaveproductions@gmail.com so we can find out.
Yes. Okay, so you are one of like I don't know 3 people that know So Sophie. So Sophie, and so this is a cool story. Um,
Okay.
I developed this show called So Sophie, and it was about a female evil Knievel, kind of. She was a female stunt driver, and
Oh.
raising her little brother all alone in the house of her Vietnam vet alcoholic grandfather, and she was sort of the matriarch who had to hold the whole thing together. And so Ralph Sosa and I developed this thing, and we went to NATP, National Association of Television Producers and Executives, and they have this show in Vegas where everybody goes to sell their properties, and they have, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to have a pitch me contest where you go and you pitch your property. And so we put together this little short and had it on my little laptop and went there and pitched So and
There's a
we
little picture
made
for
it
people to see.
to the final. Oh my God! Look, I haven't seen that in freaking years. That's amazing. Oh my
I just
God!
found a website. I just typed in So
This
Sophie Dave Warren cartoon and it came up.
that's so freaking cool. Oh my God! Look at Sophie was beautiful. Um,
She was gorgeous.
the so anyway, we make it to the finals. And well, we had Carmen Electra was going to voice her, so we were really, and I'll get to that part of the story, but um, I get to the finals, which means you go to this theater in Las Vegas, and you're one of, I think, 12 people that they picked that has to get up in front of the studio audience and pitch your idea. And there was a panel of celebrity judges, and the
Oh,
winner was going to get, some kind of thing. Meeting with development executives, that's what it was. And so I'm sitting there, and my name gets called, and I've got my little laptop, and I am sweating bullets. And I get up on stage, and I went, "Hey kids, you like the rock and roll?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I went, "Well, here's something really different." And we had the laptop on the stage and like put the camera on it and played the clip. And now, mind you, this was during the time when John Kay was real popular. Ren and Stimpy was happening. Ren and Stimpy was the thing. And so it was very, very John Kay, Ren and Stimpy-esque. And so this whole thing was, the short was Sophie's cooking up this sausage in a pan, and her little brother comes sliding into the kitchen and with headphones on, or she's got headphones on and she's cooking in the pan, and he comes sliding in, hits her, and she flips the sausage up into the air, and it hits the ceiling and sticks. And all of a sudden it becomes alive, and the two little eyes go doink. And he's like up there looking, and all of a sudden he looks down and he sees her cleavage, and he goes, boop, and he drops it right in the middle of her cleavage, and he kind of lays back like, right? And it cuts. And so the whole audience like goes completely silent. The judges are staring at me like, what the fuck did I just see? And literally this judge went, what the hell was that? And
I wish
so
I knew.
I went, well, it's the story of this girl who's, taking care of her younger brother, and it's a comedy, blah, 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 but it's an empowering story about women. And the guy went, empowering? You just stuck a sausage in her boobs. And it was like, and the place fell apart. And I was like, oh my God, I'm done. But I got a huge, huge laugh, right? So I go back to my seat, and people are running up to me like in my seat, like going, can we talk to you? Blah, 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 blah. We're with MTV. We're blah, blah, blah. People are like asking me this question. So I'm like,
cool.
oh, right? And so I freaking won. I won the freaking pitch me contest.
It was such a memorable thing to have happen, and the big laugh, and everyone saw it and saw what was special about it, and that it came from your brain.
But here's I want to make cartoons in Hollywood 101, right? So we make a long story short. I end up meeting Carmen Electra, pitch her on the idea. She says she's on board. So now I'm like, all right, I've got Carmen Electra, we've got this. And at that time, MTV was spinning off into this other network that was, I want to say something, not TNT, something like that. And Abby, God, I forget the guy's name. Abby, somebody was going over to run. Abby Hoffman or something. No, not Abby Hoffman. Anyway, we get over there. We're like going gangbusters on this thing, and I go to New York for this meeting, and I sit in this guy's office, and he goes, I don't know. I don't know about Carmen Electra. We already got one show with a stripper in it, and at that time, they had just greenlit Pam Anderson to do Stripperella, so they were going. We don't want Pam Anderson and Carmen Electra. It looks like we're doing two of the same thing. So I was like, oh, okay, well, what can we do? And they said, well, we're interested in Gwen Stefani. We're thinking Gwen Stefani, and this is back, again, Gwen Stefani was brand new, right? Kind of, no doubt what's just happening. And so I was like, yeah, I'm sure we can work something out with Carmen, and I would love to do that. So we started to like try to revamp the show a little bit so that it didn't draw comparisons to Stripperella. And then one day they just got on a call, and they said, we decided we want to go in a different direction, and that was it. And
it's like such the truth of the entertainment world.
Yeah, so I mean, it was like, here it was 101, entertainment 101. I was, 32 years old, and here I am 30 years later, still doing the same shit. I mean, still, it's a funny thing because it's was always a dream, and today I look at it differently. But it was always something. I always wanted to have my own show. I don't know why. It was like to have something I created and be able to entertain people in that format. Just like was meant everything to me,
All right. We have Mike O'Brien says good evening and wants you to give a scratch on Zach's head for him.
Oh, Mr.
He's behind
O'Brien,
me.
how are you?
Yeah,
Where is he?
Mr. O'Brien.
Can you?
He's there in the chat. Like here's like he says, Zek is such a great dog. Give him a scratch on the head for me, Dave, with a big smiley face.
Hey, Mr. O'Brien, are we gonna see you in Rose City? I saw he was at a another show this weekend. Mike is an amazing human being, and he's also one of the hardest working guys I know. So everybody that's in the Comic Con community up in the Washington State area knows Mike.
Okay, well,
And he's
thank you,
been.
Michael O'Brien, for coming in tonight and hanging out with us. We have a question from him in audio dramas. He's a friend of mine that creates audio dramas and does kind of like a studio. And he says, your
Okay.
website and public persona, El Arto, which you can bring up your website here coming up, suggests that your work lives somewhere between a hug and a middle finger. Can you elaborate on that creative philosophy and how it influences your art?
Ooh, well, let's get deep with Dave's sarcasm.
Wait, let me make you big for this one.
Ooh, let's get deep for Dave's sarcasm. Um, it's trying to come up with something clever and funny for a hook, because people always want your bio. So that was the genesis of it. And I wrestled with it, to be honest, because I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to go, like this. But I have that edge to me, and but I also have this part of me that's very much a loving person that enjoys uh, my time at Comic Cons and meeting people and getting to just, I don't know, chill with folks in that world and inspire young artists. And so that's the side of me that's kind of the warm hug. And then there's the part of me that I was just talking about, where it's like I can, I'm reaching grumpy old man status. Get off my lawn, kid. That kind of.
Yeah, not at all. And speaking of inspiring artists, your last episode you were on, and a couple other artists that have been on our show inspired me, and I got myself a Wacom Cintiq.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. So I have some art that was published relatively recently after I finished it like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and they finally let me know that they had actually published it. And so I'm like, published, and I drew it on a little Wacom Intuos a few years ago, and after having you and a couple other artists on our show, I was like, I want to get back into it. So I invested and got myself a 16-inch Wacom Cintiq, and I love it very much. It's right here on my desk in front of my screens, and I had to get like a keyboard shelf so I could move my keyboard down lower to have better, like more space for my tablet. But it was like, so inspiring artists is, it's still going. So I want to make sure that you knew that too.
That's so cool, and it's always interesting because one of the, these are all tools in our toolbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as we kind of evolve as artists, like I work pretty much 90% of my time is in Procreate, and the more I use it, the less I don't know. It's great for a lot of things, and there's a lot of things I wish I could do differently with it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you bring up the Cintiq, I go, the nice thing with the Cintiq is you can integrate with the desktop version of Photoshop and Illustrator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I use Illustrator and Photoshop for everything that I've made so far. And I switch the Cintiq to be the main display like really quick, and everything opens up on there, and it's really nice. And I use it for my photo editing too.
Nice. Well, you've got a better setup than me. I'm always struggling. I'm constantly, I shouldn't say that. I am always looking at ways to improve my
Mm-hmm.
my work environment. I'm
constantly
ADHD.
changing everything around me. I 100% understand.
Yeah, and I have to I get excuse me, I get moments where I'll feel very claustrophobic, And so
Hmm.
I'll start pushing stuff out of the way, like, oh, no, 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 this got to go, this got, and it's like I need big elbows to be able to work on my little thing, you know. Um, but it's environment. Environment is key. Anybody who creates, I think, knows that. You know, you've got to have your little cave,
I've got my
den,
nerd
whatever.
stuff. I got my nerd stuff
Yeah.
here. Some of my camera collection back there. One of my favorite things I have that sometimes just reminds me of creating is like the early days. This is a 1918 Kodiak camera. Kodak camera.
Oh wow, that's
And
awesome.
it's like one of my favorite things to look at to like kind of remember on creating or like earlier dates of creation and stuff like that too. So I keep that one kind of close by, but I have other stuff like this is the Kyber Cave Saber box. I designed it and took the pictures and everything for it. Like I took this picture in my garage. and
Wow. No,
and it was a lot of fun. There's this one that's like dark side, light side. And so I always keep it close because it reminds me of, like it's inspiring to me as well. Having my like you said, having like your surrounding your work environment is very important in inspiring you to like create and do things like that. So I'm always constantly changing things. I moved my desk a little bit ago. I've added sound paneling. Now I want to like do this, and so I'm always looking for change as well.
oh my goodness, if you know me, anybody who knows me, I'm a nomad. I move. Ugh, I move so much that I'm sick of moving. And when people say they're sick of moving, you don't know. But I get bored in environments.
Hmm.
And I'm constantly looking for fresh stimulation. You know, I think that's why I enjoy Comic Con so much, is because it's a rush.
Hmm.
You know, there's that getting out in front of people, and the anticipation of, you know, what it's going to be like. Are people going to show up? You know, I mean, you guys know how that is when you do a show. You're there and you're all set up, and you're like, okay, now I hope the people do. You know,
And I've seen on both sides of it. I have been to a couple cons for KCP and people came and showed up. I had three people ask for my autograph, which I found extremely strange. That was the first time that ever happened. And then I also had a vendor fair once where I showed up with, um, thank you, Mike O'Brien. He said, awesome looking set. He liked my set. um,
uh,
I do photography and I bought a bunch of inventory and went to a vendor fair and nobody got anything. I also hosted like a painting auction for charity once and nobody came. Like, so I've been on both sides of that feeling.
yeah.
But when that it's so worth it to do to try because like that rush you get from people coming. Like Duran is one of our regulars, and when we got to meet him in person, it was like Van and I both discussed it was probably one of our favorite moments so far on the show, even though it wasn't on the show itself, but being part of the show.
You know, I heard something about Duran. I don't know if this is the right forum, but I heard he's hungry like a wolf. Sounds
Maybe so.
incredible.
Hungry for KCP. No, so I want to ask you too. What was it like stepping? Because you worked on The Simpsons in such an iconic show. How was it like working on something that's such a legacy behind it?
Okay, it was amazing. And while we're talking about The Simpsons and you're showing your cameras, Mark Kirkland, who was one of the directors that I was fortunate enough to work with, um, his father was a famous photographer, and Mark
Hmm.
is an incredible photographer. So, any Simpsons fans out there, check out Mark Kirkland and do a little dive into his past and his photography. You'll be pleasantly surprised. A little
Ooh,
Simpsons history for you tonight.
that's exciting. There's a markkirkland.com and I see a camera, so I'm going to throw that into the chat so y'all can check that out. And I want you to go ahead and mention your. There was a couple things you told me about before the show that you wanted to mention your what you got going on your Patreon and your art in your website itself.
Oh, well, I just wanted people to know where to find me. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I have just recently launched, within the last month, a little more than a month, a Patreon. It's called Dave and Zeke's Incredible Cartoon Crew. And we've got half a dozen or so people that have subscribed, which blows me away, and I am
That's
so
awesome.
grateful.
Congratulations.
Yeah, yeah, it's like I give like I don't even know what to say. I go, that's just so cool. I feel a huge responsibility though, because I think when someone is going to place their hard-earned money in you know, and as I say, it helps keep Zeke and I in coffee and pup cups because,
Oh,
you
pup
know, we're
cups.
talking about doing these shows. Um, you know, sometimes people don't realize the expense involved, the hotels, the gas, the food. You're
Mm-hmm.
not always a guest. You know, I'm fortunate that you know, I'm invited to be a guest at a lot of shows, but there's shows that I'm not. And so we put a lot of money out on the line. And so, you know, maintaining your vehicle. So all of that I'm appreciative for. And we're doing some fun stuff on the Patreon. And I'm going to start doing, you know, I look at what other artists are doing. A lot of people do you know, they draw your name or something. And I Simpsonize people. It's kind of what I do as a side hustle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm just going to start like all my Patreon subscribers. I think instead of drawing their name, I'm just going to create a wall, you know, and do a sketch of them and have them up there. And I think that would be something really cool. You know, that could be exclusive to them. Um, and matter of fact, let's do that right now. If somebody wants to sign up during this thing, I'll sketch you
Oh,
and
that's so
I'll send it.
cool.
Yep. So
I posted, yeah,
let
as I threw it into the chat and it's in the description too. So please make sure to check that out because that would be really cool to see some of our viewers being Simpsonized.
and you know, and I'd love to, you know, get feedback from the community as to the kind of things they want to see. I'm kind of shooting in the dark. You know, I'm going to do a live stream, you know, once a month for you know the members where I'll, you know, do like kind of a, you know, chat and draw with them. But I'm trying to find things that are, you know, make it worthwhile and engaging and entertaining. And so if people have ideas, please share
Yeah,
them
like
with us.
I know, like you could do Patreon where the people who subscribe will get they'll get Simpsonized, but you can live stream to everybody you drawing them, and then people will be like, "Oh, I want to do Patreon. I want to watch my drawing get done." Like and so like live stream yourself doing some of the drawings too. I've done some live streaming of art too sometimes, and people actually are like surprisingly really interested in like watching someone draw stuff. I used to draw. I used to take pictures of kids and turn them into superheroes on my
Oh,
old
see,
little walk up Intuos. You could do a Simpsons superhero person.
you know, I just think there's something just cool about it. You know, there's a guy I watch
Hmm.
on TikTok in the evenings. I think it's called Paladino or Paladino,
Okay.
and he just live streams him. He kind of does these sketch card drawings where he just throws some, takes a marker and throws some color down, and then he starts to build. Like he'll go, "Oh, I see a woman sitting on the sidewalk smoking a cigarette," and he'll start to, you know, flesh it out. And they're very organic and fluid and of the moment, and I really
Hmm.
like that. I want to do more of those kind of things. I think that's my goal is to get into that flow more, where I'm
Hmm.
more um, personally involved with the people who support me and the fans that I'm, you know, lucky enough to have, and not just be so static. You know, I'm an old dog trying to figure out these social media games.
The social media stuff, it is hard to figure out for sure. I for a short time I did just like random requests, and one like I mean, and people would just do off the wall things. I drew Worf wearing board shorts and sunglasses, riding a dolphin in the waves, who was wearing its own sombrero. Like,
Who,
and that was Worf from
who
Star Trek. Like, it was really random
oh,
stuff.
Jesus.
So it was like a
Yeah,
lot of
see that.
fun. And then, yeah,
Yeah, I see. I just don't know if that might be too much pressure for me. You know, look at I while we were talking, I drew Snoopy.
Well, there you
That's what I
go.
do.
I also enjoyed, like, I used to paint on canvas, and I would just paint like whatever I was feeling. And so sometimes that would come out a different way. Now I got to tell you, painting using a digital tablet is a lot less messy. So much nicer in that
Yeah.
sense.
But see, this is where I get back to the like, I create everything digitally. But
Hmm.
now I really want to do a sketchbook. I have several sketchbooks that I bought for myself that maybe have one drawing in them, two drawings. But I want to get consistent about it because I think one, it helps you stay good as an artist and improve as an
Hmm.
artist. But two, I think it's a beautiful way to journal if you're
Yeah, yeah, it's
creative,
a
you know, to
visual journal,
combine.
really.
Yeah, and I find that that organic process is much more satisfying for me now. I get tired of pinching the zoom. I get tired of like, you know, all that. Like I say, if you work on a iPad, the experience is different.
Hmm.
And although I can create art at a level that I wasn't able to prior to the advent of digital technology, um, I find myself now wanting to be more and more organic. Um, uh, I think that's a direction I think is satisfying to me as an artist now.
Yeah.
You know, and so trying to figure out ways to voice that. Oh, dropping my
Uh-oh.
crystals. Oh, my
Oh,
crystals are falling.
no.
Ah!
Swisted
I
said,
have.
how about, oh, you had some, what crystals do you have there?
Okay, I have this. I don't know what their names are. I've got
Oh, they're
this
pretty.
one, and one that just disappeared. So that one I don't know. Oh, here it is. And this one is a smoky one.
Ooh, I like that. Oh, my ring light just went out on me. One sec.
So I keep them in my hand and I do
Rude.
this.
Okay.
This
Ooh.
is
And yeah, it's a
ah!
good tool. Just and then you drop them all. Swisted said, "How about a print of Cincinnati's Boulevard of Broken Dreams?"
Oh, um, well, it is something that I have thought about. I think it has been done. Um, Not to say that I couldn't do my own interpretation of it because I do that a lot. Um, yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. I'm
Okay.
leaning right now into Halloween season, so I'm thinking of
Oh
uh,
yeah.
things that I can do that are horror inspired. So, what are
Okay.
the ideas for that? Let's hear.
Stranger Things, Simpsons. All right. Hammond Audio Dramas has another question. Have you ever had a moment of doubt or sincere lack of faith in yourself, your talents, or your works? Have you ever suffered from imposter syndrome? And if so, what do you recommend to overcome it?
Um, I go through that every day,
Hmm.
every single day. I did. A, I'm working on commissions right now, Simpsonizing commissions, and I do them, and then sometimes I go, "Oh, well, this looks just like another one that you did previously, or something," and you're just there's no life in your drawings. Your drawings are stiff and they're boring, and I'll look at somebody like Dave Stevens or somebody and go, oh my goodness, or some kid on Instagram, and I think, wow, I'm really stiff, and oh, I'm like, all I know how to do now is draw the Simpsons. I'm like, that's all I do, and I don't have anything beyond that. And so, to answer your question, every fucking day, and
Hmm.
uh, I work through it. I just work through it and just go. You got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. If I don't believe in myself, no one else is. Um, I think that you have to have a little bit of a healthy dose of ego or whatever you want to call it. I heard Steven Tyler say something where he said, if you don't step out on stage, and think you're going to own that crowd, that you're a rock star, you're not going to be. So I have to kind of put myself in the position of go like, do your best. You're good at what you do, and whether or not people like it, it doesn't matter. What matters is you like it. What matters is you feel good about what you're doing. And as I was saying about working on a piece of art today, I have this moment where I go, this doesn't feel as inspired as I'd like it to be. And then I go back and I look at the reference image and I start to pull little things out of it. And I go, oh, I didn't catch this. Like this guy's got this kind of like cool way his eyebrows going. And I didn't see this little Mickey Mouse symbol detail on his hat and certain things. And I started getting back in there, and then I started to kind of fall in love with the drawing a little bit. And then when I was done, I was like, oh, this is pretty good, but I had to work myself through it. And just know that if it doesn't work out, I did my best. And tomorrow's another day, and we can do it all over again.
I want to say a quick thank you to Mike O'Brien and Twisted Films, who both have sent tips to the channel just now. That is the first tips we have received in well over a year. So thank you very much. That is really, really appreciated. Mike O'Brien sent $2 and Twisted sent $5. He said, "We salute you, our half-inflated Dark Lord. Thanks for all your hard work." Travis Spalding says, "There's more. There's." Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, go ahead. I talk too much. Go ahead.
Travis Spalding says, "There's more love than hate out there. Ignore the ignorance and keep moving forward, being true to yourself. Do what you love." And Hammond said, "Thank you so much for sharing that. Very inspirational. Just push through it and overcome. Stay humble and be the rock star. Thank you."
I've drawn a lot of inspiration right now from Ozzy Osbourne, and it's pretty amazing to me that this man touched so many people's lives, and who would have thought somebody who at one point was hauled before Congress, was deemed a threat to children, and a crazy man for biting the head off of a bat, all of these things, and when he made his transition, people around the world mourned for a long time, are still mourning. And I go, Ozzy serves as such an inspiration to me right now because he was Ozzy. There was nobody before him. He just was himself. Mm-hmm. And people loved him because he was himself, right?
He was unapologetically so.
There's the hug in the middle finger, right? If you watch the Osbournes, that reality show, he loved his dogs. You know what I mean? But he could be Ozzy. So you go, I think that is a lesson for us all. Be yourself and be a good person. And who cares about, I'm a firm believer that we attract what we put out, that law of attraction stuff. But I truly do think that if you put good out there, if you are a good person in your heart and you're projecting good, when I go out and walk with my dog, I smile at people, I say hello to them. I go out of my way to see if I can make people just have a moment, where they're smiling and happy. I think that's enough. That's enough, and if you can do that, your life will reward you with the same. So it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter what you wear, what color your skin is, what country you are from. Good is good.
Oh gosh, that's so beautiful.
Thanks for coming to my thing.
Mike O'Brien says, "I'm in, Dave, and subscribed as a showrunner."
Oh, Mike O'Brien.
So thank you, Mike O'Brien, for subscribing to Dave Warren as a showrunner. That's awesome. He said we all love Ozzy. We do love Ozzy. He was fantastic.
Now, see, that's where, okay, so I'm going to ask the audience here
Oh,
because um, I did a sketch card of Ozzy a while back and I posted it. This was long before Ozzy had passed, like 9 months ago or something. And I did it, I sketched it, and I put it up and said, if anybody wants it, I'll put a first person to give me $50, it's yours. And a friend of mine from Instagram, who I know is a music lover, purchased it, and I was thrilled to go to someone that I knew really loved music and loved Ozzy. And when Ozzy passed, I went, man, I should redo that sketch card, or I should do like a Ozzy. Well, I have this thing with like I did a mashup of Homer and Charlie Brown that I really liked, and I've done these mashups with the Peanuts and the Simpsons. And I did the sketch at someplace. I cleaned, and now I don't know where it is, but I sketched Ozzy as Charlie Brown, and it was funny. And I went, ooh, I'll just make an Ozzy Charlie Brown sticker.
that's
And
cool.
yeah, but here's the thing: the day after he died, um, I saw people that I know posting some, quick thing they threw together or something that they had, laying around from before or whatever for sale. And I was like, fuck, man, it don't feel right to like. It's one thing if you go, hey, I'm going to sell this piece of art. We're going to donate it to, MS. We're going to do something good with it. I'm all for that. But I think trying to make a quick buck off of somebody's death, it just doesn't really. It's not me. So I didn't do anything. I went, fuck, I'm not going to do that. But now I'm feeling like I want to do something to pay tribute to him. And so I'm thinking maybe for Halloween season, doing some sort of an Ozzy print or something. So I talk a lot, audience, Michael, Brian, everyone else. What do you think? Any ideas? Like, what would you like to see?
Ooh, yes, please send your ideas in the chat. Twisted said, your prints are way friendly. There's his crystals. I actually have one of your prints over here.
You have the Snoopy print, right?
Yes, I have that one hanging. I sworn I had another one sitting here too. I have.
Delicious.
Let me grab the Snoopy one that's on the wall. Okay. All of you can see the one that Mr. Warren. Let me make myself bigger so people can see it a little easier. It says to Kyber, your pal Dave Warren. And I was like, hey, I write my A's the exact same way too. The typewriter A. But it's a really,
I
really
learned
cool
from you.
print. Oh, did you?
Thank you. That's one of my most popular prints, and that was
Okay,
one
I'm
of
gonna put
those
that.
where I did that kind of out of trying to kind of figure out something that was unique to me. And I drew from my influences, which was as a child, I used to love Peanuts, and that was kind of like I
Mhm.
used to draw Snoopy all the time. And so I went, let me try and match up like my childhood influence with what everybody knows me for, which is the Simpsons. And I came up with that. And I have another one that I did that's Lisa with Schroeder, and Lisa's looking lovingly at Schroeder in front of the piano, that classic, Lucy and Schroeder moment. And I never made a print out of it because I was like, yeah, it's good to me, but I don't think anybody else will like it. And I did the other one as kind of like, yeah, I like this. Maybe somebody will buy it. And it ended up, it's my most popular print. So what do I know?
That's so cool. We always are quick to judge ourselves. We're like our own worst critic, as they say.
Well, the thoughts we think and the words we speak shape our world, right? So when I was a
Hmm.
young artist, um, I had a job working for a screen printing company, and we were doing a lot of surf and skate stuff for like Santa Monica Airlines and Molly and Son. I forget, but all the action sports companies from like the '90s. Stussy was young back then. Anyway, we would work up a bunch of designs, and this amazing talented artist Bob Thompson. Shout out to my buddy Bob from Big Drill Car. Amazing band. If you guys don't know Big Drill Car, go check them out. Um, from my era. But anyways, I digress. Bob Thompson and I and this guy Pete Kroll, we were artists working at this place doing designs for these surf and skate companies. So we would get these collections we put together of all the art, and then they put them together in this room, and they'd have me come in. Everybody would go in and take a look at the art, but then they would bring me in and they go, "Okay, Dave, um, go through and pick out your top five or whatever." So I go through and go, "Oh, I like this one, this one, this one, this one." And the boss would turn to the supervisor on the floor and he'd go, "Okay, make everything else." I go, "Wait a minute, what is that?" He goes, "Everything you like, nobody buys, Dave."
Uh,
So I was always like, and that stuck with me. I was always, it's so funny. And he was saying it to be kind of funny, but it was
hmm.
like I always liked the weird stuff that was kind of not like commercially viable. You know what I mean? But I thought it was funny, um, or thought it was good. So that's why I say when I call it uninvited guest. Homer passed out on Snoopy's doghouse. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think Peanuts fans are going to get this, and they
It's
did.
funny. It's a funny one. And I'm like, I get to have that on my wall,
Yeah,
which is lovely.
I've been playing with because my daughters have been kind of on me a little bit because they're really into anime, and I'm
Oh, okay.
this old dog, and so they've been really pushing me to do some anime mashups. So I've done a few of them, and I'm doing some '90s stuff. Like I did a Bartatello, like a Ninja Turtles Bart mashup. I did a Pika Bart or a Bartachu, whatever you want to call it, like Bart and Pikachu mashed up. And I'm playing with those things, um, stepping outside of my element because I'm not well versed in that world. But it is there's an audience out there that that's especially when you go to Comic Cons, you go, wow, you
Hmm.
realize how much anime dominates, you know, visual storytelling right now. It's incredible.
Yeah, 100%. I used to go to anime convention every year with my husband, and it was like just overwhelming. And you still see it in so much storytelling today that actually I've seen it break it into live action where it's filmed live action, but they tell the story like in an anime, which is really interesting to see too.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just telling someone today that the show that I did last month, there was oh no, sorry, it was in Bremerton, Washington. There were the people that were next to Mike O'Brien's booth. It was at Mike O'Brien's booth who's here. And he had a couple of people at his booth, and he was right next to me. And this woman in the booth and this man were having this discussion that got heated. And they were talking about a man and a woman. And I'm thinking, boy, whoever this couple is, like, this is intense. And it
Hmm.
got to the point where like getting super worked up, and where I was almost like, hey guys, like, take a breath, you know what I mean? It's okay. And I literally was like, wow, they're like getting like, I don't know what's gonna happen here, right? And then all of a sudden he went, yeah, but he's got level 5 this, and she went, yeah, but her so and so can do, and I went, holy shit, they're talking about some fucking anime show. I literally thought that they were talking about these two people who got into a fight that were like going to kill each other. And I was like, I don't know what kind of like shit I just like eavesdropped on right now, but this is getting out of control. And they were talking about some animated, like some anime series, and I was like, oh my god. So like those fans, those anime fans, they're intense, they're passionate, they know their show. It's amazing, you know. So I don't know, you know, I try. I watch One Piece, so that's to the extent.
I want to catch up on some of
And
the
I'm
chat because we had some pretty good conversation happening.
yeah.
When it comes back to Ozzy, Swiss has said, ask yourself, what would you have wanted to see on your wall as a poster when you were 15? As like an idea to draw him as. And
Oh wow,
that's a really cool, it's a really cool thought. Like, what would you have wanted on your wall?
that's a great thought. I'll carry that with me forever, man. Not just with Ozzy, with everything. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like the idea. Mike O'Brien also said, don't forget the Deadpool, Barton, Wolverine, Homer mashup you did.
Oh yeah, that was something that Mike had me do for Nathan O'Brien, amazing promoter up in Spokane, Lilac City Comic Con.
Really cool.
Halloween Expo coming up.
Yeah, he mentioned that earlier in the chat as well, Halloween Expo. Send us some information on it and we can post it on the Facebook page and tell people about it. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Halloween.
Go ahead.
No, it's just a fun show.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome. That's all. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I really enjoyed our chat, and I know I could like go on for much longer. But we have so much of a run time, but I would want to okay, come back for a third appearance to chat again, because I really enjoyed just kind of hearing all your thoughts and things. And you know, like when you mentioned going through imposter syndrome, you know, people sometimes don't think about professionals who have worked in the industry ever going through it, but I think everybody in a sense goes through it. And it's hard. It's kind of hard because we're just always so hard on ourselves, and having that conversation with you, I think, was really good and inspiring to people who are watching as well.
Thank you. And you know what? And thank you for that inspiration, because I'm going to gravitate off of TikTok in the next few weeks, and I'm kind of migrating off of some of these social platforms that have become whatever. And so I'm looking at YouTube right now and trying to figure out what I can do for a YouTube channel. And I'm trying to make it more of a thing where I can have discussions like what you just said and just talk honestly with about creativity. But then maybe we do one where we're drawing, and then maybe we do another one where we talk about music. I'd like to have the Seinfeld of YouTube shows, you know, a show about nothing kind of. So anyways, I'll leave on that. Thank you so very much. I'm going to put my crystals down to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who supports me and showed up. I appreciate you beyond belief. Mr. Zeke is sleeping over here. He says thank you.
Looks so comfy back there.
Yeah, he had a good dinner. He got promised a good dinner. So, and I delivered. So thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and do good out there. All right. And stay human.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us for that interview. That was a lot of fun. Some really good, inspiring information, and lots of fun views as well, and perceptions and things. And I love the work. If you want to see the print again that I have, I love it. And I get to have it on my wall. And I make sure to keep it in the plastic, and I hang it like a very specific way so it doesn't damage the print and stuff. But yeah, I like to have that. It's on my wall, usually like right here. It's in this spot right there. So thank you so much for joining us for this evening. We do have a game planned that we always do, Guess That character. So let me go ahead and get my music started for that. And we can have a little fun with that. Let me make sure it is not terribly loud. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. It's time for Guess That Character. Let me make myself a little bit bigger there. All right. Who is this? These are Star Wars characters, y'all. So whose silhouette is this? Do you know? Anyone can put it in the chat, and I will let you know if you're right or wrong. The night manager of Dexter's Diner. No. That is not correct. You don't know Travis Spalding Jar Jar. Yeah, it's not Jar Jar, although we have done Jar Jar in the past. This is actually Marva Karasi Andor. So she was basically Cassian Andor's mom for all intents and purposes, and she was a human salvager from Ferrix, who, together with her husband Clem, rescued and adopted a young boy named Cassian, later known as Cassian Andor, from the planet Canary. She became the maternal force behind the future rebel hero, shaping his early life with courage and compassion. Though she endured personal great loss, Clem's death at the hands of the Empire, she ultimately found renewed purpose by standing firmly against tyranny. She's no Imperial. No, she's not. Even in declining health, Marva sparked rebellion on Ferrix with a powerful funeral speech that inspired her community to rise up against Empire's oppression. You can see that in the first season of Andor, and it's pretty spectacular. She is a fantastic actress. A lot of you might know her as Aunt Petunia in the Harry Potter series. I know her originally from one of the Three Men and a Little Baby, Little Lady movies. I've seen her in those as well a long time ago. You were so close. All right, the next one. Who is this? Who is this? Who might this be? Another female, I'll give you that much. A female character. And she is, yeah, she's such a good actress. And it was such a good scene, her powerful speech. Like, you just, so commanding, her presence in that. Do you know who this might be? Anybody? Admiral Hodor, or whatever her name was before, like Laura Dern character. Rosario. This is, yes, it's Admiral Holdo. Yes, Amelin Holdo was a resilient, I can't say it right, Gadalintan politician turned military leader and a steadfast ally of Leia Organa, the enemy mercenary of Jabba the Hutt from Return of the Jedi. She did a speech. Admiral Holdo is her name, and it is like Laura Dern. Known for an elegant eccentricity and unconventional strategy, she rose to prominence within the Rebel Alliance and later the Resistance. In a defining moment, Holdo sacrificed herself in a rare display of heroism, performing the daring Holdo maneuver, ramming her ship at light speed into a Force Order fleet to save the Resistance from annihilation. I know, Hammond, okay? I keep saying Hodor. Holdo. I keep saying like that instead of Holdo. It's just popping out in my voice for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't know. But that is your guess, that character of the evening. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. Hold the door. I know that was I haven't seen all of Game of Thrones, and my husband and I did stop watching it at one point, but we did see that part. I wanted to talk to you guys too while we are just, I want to say one-on-one, that's not quite sure. I'm by myself. As you probably, some of you might have noticed, last week we had a rerun special of Chris F. Bartlett on, and in the beginning of the episode reminiscence, I made a short video with a very sunburned face, explaining to you that we had an emergency situation, why we weren't doing a show. Van was in the hospital. He went back home, I think it was last Monday or Tuesday. He is working a convention this weekend, so he's doing okay. You can always send him some love over on the Kyber Cave Facebook or Kyber Cave Productions Facebook, and I can show that information to him. One thing also that is happening is I am going to be stepping away from Kyber Cave Productions soon. I have some things in my family and health stuff and things I also want to do that I need to shift some things in my life. And so after almost 3.5 years on the channel, I will be stepping away. And in that, we are also actively looking for a host and or editor for the show. So either like one to host, one person to edit, or one person to do both like I do. So if you were interested and believe you might qualify, we have a Google form in the description of this show, and it's also going to be posted on our Facebook page that you can fill out. There are options for you to either apply for editor by itself, just host and director, or you can apply for both. So please check that out. And if you know anyone who is interested, you can send them that link, and we'll get in contact with people who apply. I have a date for my last show, but I'm not comfortable quite saying when it is yet. I've been very nervous to talk about it because I've been here for almost 3.5 years, but there's things I want to be able to do and some things with my family that I need to be taking care of that I need to step away. And it may not be forever. I don't 100% know for sure. Before we do Talk of the Town, I also want to remind people that we have Retro Alcove on Monday evenings with Graveyard Camera. Why? Unfocused for a moment. We have Retro Alcove on Monday evenings, roughly 5:15 p.m. Pacific, where you can watch him dive into some really old, awesome video games. They may not seem old sometimes, but they're considered old. It's crazy. Thank you for the time you spent with us. Thank you, Swisted. Thank you. I don't want to start crying. I will always be part of the KCP fam, and I will always feel like family. It is just, it's been something I've been thinking about for quite a long time, and I kept putting it off because I tend to be that person, like I won't do something because I'll make other people sad, even if that thing that I want to do would be better for me and make me happier, trying out other things that I haven't had an opportunity to try before. So I want to be able to take that and do that opportunity. Don't forget, thank you so much to Swisted and Mike O'Brien for sending tips to the channel tonight. That is so incredibly helpful for our channel and supporting what we do here at Kyber Cave Productions. We really appreciate it. If you guys want to know all the different ways you can support us, whether it might be financially or just views, hitting that like button, subscribing, sharing, commenting, so that our videos get pushed into the algorithm is incredibly helpful. We have a Patreon where you can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. Up to $50 a month, and there's perks for different levels. You can check it out at patreon.com/Kyber Cave Productions. And again, if you know anyone who might be interested in hosting and or editing for the show here, Saber Rattle, please take a look at that Google form in the description, and it'll post shortly after this show on the Facebook page. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Mr. Warren, for being our guest this evening. It was absolutely amazing having you on, and I really enjoyed our conversation. And I'd love to have more conversation on your own YouTube channel once you get that going. I'm not sure if you'll see that part, but, I'll let you know in our Facebook chat. All right, guys, have a lovely evening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.